But apparently graphite will have its moment again. We will see more interest in the graphite sector, and why should investors be interested in graphite?
Yeah, graphite is the number one input raw material into a lithium-ion battery. You will not escape that. That's it's the way it is. So for us, graphite anode is the key thing to focus on. The scale of the amount of graphite that's going to be needed in these mega factories is in the order of millions of tons. This isn't, at the moment, the anode space is 165,000 tons a year. But you're going to need well over 1.6 million tons a year by 2030 if all these plants come on stream. That's an incredible amount of anode material, and you have to ask, where is it coming from? You have two sources. You have natural flake graphite that's then processed into coated spherical graphite, which is the cheapest and lowest cost and most abundant material to use to source. But on the other hand, you have synthetic graphite as well, which there's a lot of blending that goes on between the two, but that's much higher cost and harder to bring scale into the market. You're going to have a blend of both of them, but it's funny, when I was on stage at PDAC, somebody asked the question, what would how do you rank these minerals? And for me, from an investor perspective, it's easy to understand lithium 1, nickel 2, cobalt 3, and then graphite always gets forgotten. From a car manufacturer's perspective, nickel and graphite are the biggest concerns right now.
All right, so my last question for you today, what is the question you get the most from investors, and what questions should they be actually asking? Are there any missing trends right now that investors should be paying attention to in the battery metal space?
Investors are so focused on price, and I understand why. The price trend, where the price is today or has been the last 3 months, they think tells the story of the market. And it's not true, not strictly true. So as a result, the number one question we get is, what's the graphite price doing? What's the lithium price doing right now? And what does that mean? Do I buy or do I sell? I think you have to look at these things in 2-year chunks. And what is the market like for all of these raw materials in a 2-year period? You're going to have supply problems in the next 2 years for these battery mega factories. The demand is not just there, it's intensifying. So I would say, from the pricing perspective, look at the battery mega factories, look what is coming on stream, and then you can easily work out the amount of raw material they're going to need. There isn't enough. So that's number one. The second question we get is on recycling and how that's going to impact battery recycling, how that's going to impact the raw material volumes in the market. I mean, it's still a very new thing. It's happening now, it's very interesting, but in very small volumes. It's going to take really another 5 years to work out, firstly, what kind of batteries are coming back into the market, because these batteries are lasting longer in like the Tesla Model S, for example, than anyone ever thought. So what form and chemistry is coming back into the market, and then they have to work out the processing methods. What processing or recycling method do we develop to best extract those raw materials? Then the third thing, which no one talks about, is the quality of these raw materials. Can you use lithium out of a battery back in a battery? The answer is no right now. It's the lithium carbonate that comes out is not of the battery grade quality needed. But then you can use it in other markets. So there's a lot of factors on the recycling side. For us, we say keep an eye on it, but check back in 2023.
All right, Simon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Nice one, thank you.
Once again, I'm Priscilla Barrera with the Investing News Network, and here with me today was Simon Moores, Managing Director of Benchmark Mineral Intelligence.